Hey, what's up? How you doing, everyone? It's James Amero here at SwitchWatch, your home for everything Nintendo Switch related. I'm back today with another indie review, and this one is The End Is Nigh, developed by Edmund Macmillan and published by Nicalis. Massive shout out to those guys for giving us this copy for review purposes, and as always we're going to give you our honest opinion. Is the game any good, and is it worth your hard earned cash? Let's jump in and find out. The End Is Nigh. That's definitely the case here. You play as Ash, the last blob left on Earth following an apocalyptic event. All you have to do to keep you busy is your video games console. You're happy enough in a morose sort of way until your console finally packs up. What follows is a hilarious, full-blown meltdown which definitely is not child-friendly.
No, oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh god, no, this can't be broke. Here, we get...
As a result, Ash decides to head out and find a friend. The musical group Ridiculon is back with Edmund, having previously made the music for Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac. It's great to hear their work again on The End Is Nigh. What they've done here is, in my opinion, their best work to date for a game. They've taken 35 classical tracks from the 17 and 1800s, masters including Brahms, Tchaikovsky and Mozart, broken them into pieces and recreated warped versions that are recognisable yet darker. From the get-go, Gnossian number 1 will have you scratching your head as you sort of recognise the song but can't quite figure out where it came from. When the first stage comes around and Dance Macabre gets to its famous section, it made me smile. Considering you're going to be stuck on some of these levels for a long time, good music is essential rather than a simple nicety. Ash's epic intro has a decent voiceover and the sound effects are rather good, nice squishing and smashing sounds that finish off the audio to give you a overall high level of polish. Edmund Macmillan's style is all over this game and its visuals remind me of the awesome Binding of Isaac. The world is bleak, as is befitting a post-apocalyptic world, and each stage has its own style across its levels. His movements are cleverly done considering he is a blob, and the faded backgrounds are a nice touch. Enemies in the foreground are simple but nice. The game is mostly in black and white, chromatic scheme, and the styling is strong. It's not particularly flashy, but that does strike me as the point. The End Is Nigh will be familiar to anyone who's played Super Meat Boy. You progress across single screen levels with precision platforming that progresses from merely difficult to downright devilish. You use the left stick to move around and press A to jump. Holding it down longer will make you jump higher and further. A lot of the puzzles require you to be very precise with the pressure you apply. Thankfully the Switches are well built to have this sensitivity on all of its controllers. Once in the RZR will slam you to the ground more quickly, and this is the extent of button inputs. Ash can cling to ledges and pushing away from a ledge lets you jump a greater distance from it. This feels great, and a combination of precision jumping, clinging to ledges and slamming down gives you the tools you need to tackle the oppressive and downright frustrating levels as you go. The enjoyment of this game is directly linked to how much you enjoy punishment. If you're not one for tough games and find just completing a challenge to be a reward, then this probably will not be the game for you. It's bleak and it's difficult and you will die a lot. So far I have died 2,453 times. Thankfully, the game employs a clever almost instant respawn system. The level design is spot on and everything feels purposeful, which is a feat considering just how many levels there are. You will face death machines, crumbling buildings, spikes, poisonous gas, ghosts, monsters, switches that lead to more spikes, and many more. Some of the levels are at a slower pace, letting you take each jump with precision, whilst others are against time due to spike walls closing in or gas clouds chasing you. As a result, there is a nice balance of varied levels. Some you will whiz through and others you'll be stuck on for some time. Each level is quite short, so playing on the go works very well. That for me is the way to play this game, a few minutes at a time. As you progress, each level has a tumour that you can collect, and each stage tends to have a cartridge for a game which you can play back home. There are a huge number of these to find, and even multiple endings depending on how well you do in the latter stages of the game, where the pace really kicks it up a notch. The game is huge with 600 levels. an innumerable number of hidden areas to find, and an amazingly large soundtrack. The game is releasing at $14.99 in the US eShop and justifies its price if you enjoy this type of challenging gameplay. There is also a physical version for collectors, and it's available on Amazon for $29.99 in the US. Nicalis are doing a great job with the Switch. Recently reviewed Untitled, and the sequel to Super Meat Boy is coming out next year. The End is Nigh is a game with a very clever purpose. It's a razor-focused game with a strong identity that isn't for everyone, but offers a thrilling challenge for those who enjoy a tough platforming experience. For me, it's best in class at the moment, and overall this gets a fantastic 8 out of 10, a very solid platformer indeed. A massive shout out to all of our subscribers. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us. And for those of you who are here for the first time, if you've enjoyed this, you might want to consider subscribing. We'd love to have you back. We've also written a review here on our website, switchwatch.co.uk, so you might want to go ahead and check that out. I'm James Amera, and this is Switchwatch, and I hope to see you again soon.